Welcome in, everybody, to the Club 1 Prime League Championship game here. We have the green team taking on the white team in today's championship game. And my name is Jeff Mahoney from SummitCitySports.com. And joining me in the booth today is Associate Head Men's Basketball Coach for the University of St. Francis, Coach Luke Cummings. Coach, thanks for joining us today. How was the first year here, the inaugural season for the Club 1 Prime Basketball League?
We're really excited about it. You know, we tried to get as balanced the teams as we could for the Prime League. I mean, that was the whole point behind it. There's the Metro Indy Basketball League, takes place down in Noblesville. It gets a lot of the Indianapolis area kids. And then there's a Pocket City League in Evansville that's also very popular in that area. So we wanted to give a league here in the Fort Wayne area that the top kids in northern and northeast Indiana could play in. And we're excited about, our turnout. And then now that we're in our final week, just the competition we've had some very close games today. And then we've got two balanced teams that are playing here in the championship.
Well, absolutely. We saw back-to-back buckets here to start this game. The first one was by Dre Braden from the green team. And now there's the second bucket, and that's by Will Geiger from Norwell High School.
Yeah, and Dre's from Northside High School, and obviously they've had some changes with their coaching staff and roster this year, but Coach Andrews is excited about the young kids he has, and I think Dre's definitely one of those. And I think they had close to 10 players that played in our league this year, so definitely a lot of kids playing and some young kids and looking to continue to have success there at Northside.
That was Will Geiger on the baseline. He had the second bucket. You said you've been very impressed with that young man out of Norwell, just a junior.
Yeah, Will's one of those players, typical, that NE8 conference that just plays really hard, rebounds, finds ways just like that right there to score baskets and finishes around the rim. And it doesn't matter if it's a fall league like this or fighting for a conference championship. The kid plays hard every play, and it's just tough to play inside.
One of the guys that I know a lot of people in the Summit Athletic Conference have been very excited about, and that was a three-pointer there by number 7, Arnaud Smartzik, who has all 5 points right now for the white team. But, Coach, that's Snyder's sophomore, Michael Ely. We saw him in the semifinal game here. What have you seen from Michael in this league?
Yeah, he's played really well and just consistent. He can make the big plays, but he also is really competitive. And I think that's what's neat about the Prime League and what we're trying to develop with it is get kids out here and give them a chance to play against some of the top players, that they may not see in their open gym every day, and get a chance to be competitive. And Michael's definitely that way. And he's had some big games in the league. And earlier, I think in their would have been their first round game this afternoon. He hit free throws in sudden death overtime to win the game for his team, and then there at the end, I think they just kind of ran out of gas against the white team.
Well, I know from Michael, we saw some clutch play in the Summit Athletic Holiday Tournament last year. That's another three-pointer by Arnaud Smartzik for the white team as they tie it up 8-8. Wow, what a great game there so far by this young man out of Canterbury High School.
Yeah, the white team's a neat team, and Coach Lacrosse, myself, Todd Hensley from Gym Rats, we all kind of had input on putting rosters together, and this white team was one that I thought, didn't have any standout all area type players, but a lot of kids that are going to be solid. They got a couple kids from Homestead that haven't seen this much time just because they've been so deep there, but I think are going to be good contributors for them this year. This Margic kid obviously shoots the ball really well. The Trevor Franklin there from West Noble High School's not real well known, but he played for one of our Club 1 teams this summer, and the team really overachieved. And Trevor was a big part of that, and I think he's a kid that's, as a senior this year is going to get a lot of interest from some colleges, low NAI level to D3 level, and he's a kid also that competes really hard, just like Geiger does.
So that was a rebound and putback there for number 4 on the green team. That's Aiden Bayman. For Bayman, that's his first bucket of the game. Green team up 12-8, but white answers right back with a three-pointer. Coach, it seems like, you have a bunch of players from a bunch of different high schools all competing together. It's kind of like a nice organized rec league is what it appears to be.
Yeah, and that's the whole point behind it. I think 4 years ago when we did our high school leagues in the fall, our coaches that coached AAU, some of the Gym Rats teams, some of the Club 1 teams, some of the other local teams would put their whole team in the league and then compete against other teams. And the games weren't real competitive because you had some teams that were seniors that were really good playing against freshman or sophomore teams that weren't as good, you know. And so that's kind of the way we reorganized things this year and developed the Prime League. We gave them a chance to play with their AAU team in September in our back-to-school league, and we had a great high school division there of AAU teams that were competing, one last chance to play together here after the summer was over. And then now in the Prime League, you know, we're able to split the teams up and try to create as balanced rosters as we can, you know. And we feel like, you know, those of us that were involved in it know players pretty well in the northeast area of the state, but you just never know when you put teams together like that. And it's been good because I think you get to see kids develop some leadership stuff, take some tough shots there like that three-pointer, but he's hot. It's a heat check, right?
Well, absolutely. You know, we saw Will Geiger finish through contact last time down the floor for the green team. He had 14 points in the first game today, 19 points in the second game, so it seems like he has no problem filling it up here at this level, the high school competition level in Northeast Indiana.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at the high school stats from last year, but I'm pretty sure as a sophomore last year, Will averaged around 20 to 22 a game, and probably was close to double figures in rebounding, just knowing how well he rebounds. So he's a kid that's just I believe his parents or his dad farms, and Will's very involved on his farm. He played for one of our Club 1 AAU teams this summer that Austin Lazier coached, and was one of the top players on that team, and really made that team competitive on the Indiana scene for AAU. So he's just a kid that shows up ready to play.
And Austin Lazier, he's now a head coach. Is that right? After serving as an assistant at New Haven, I believe, for many years.
He had some looks that he was looking at as far as some coaching jobs, but he's actually going to be assistant for us here at St. Francis this year. So we're excited to have him on our staff. It, you know, gives us another young guy, and you know, is doing a lot of player development stuff with our guys. He took a new job professionally this year, got out of the classroom, and so it kind of opened up his schedule to be involved with us. And he does a great job of scouting, and he'll help us with our scouting reports and preparation for teams. So we're excited to have him on our staff.
Well, that is excellent. Looking at some of the top scores for these teams, Zach Bratmiller out of Homestead. He'll be a senior this year. He had 16 points versus the red team, 7 points versus the Navy team to get into this championship game. That's number 10 for green. Connor Norman. Connor is out of Woodland High School, just a junior. So as you can see, there's a mix of a lot of different high schools and all kinds of different age levels, but mostly juniors and seniors here in this championship game as Geiger gets the rebound, looking for the reverse lay-in. Looks like he was fouled from behind by Trent Loomis. Trent Loomis, also from Homestead High School, going to be a senior.
Yeah, we had a great mix of players. The high school coaches really supported our league. You know, since we've been, you know, I started what was at the time Northeast Corner Basketball Leagues, kind of morphed into the Club 1 thing over the last 12 years. But we've always been rooted in the high school coaches and trying to do things that provide opportunities for their programs and to grow their programs, you know, and started with our youth leagues and now a chance to do the Prime League and some of the AAU teams that we do. So they've been real supportive. So, you know, really appreciate them pushing their players to play here and compete on Sundays. You know, this is our 5th Sunday that we've played, and the teams play 2 games every Sunday leading up to the 5th week, and then it's a single elimination tournament here. And we have our underclassmen team. We had 15 total teams, 144 players. There's what we call 7 underclassmen teams, and they're competing in their bracket over at Sport 1 Fieldhouse right now. The 8 teams that made are in our upper class bracket competed all here at St. Francis today.
So the white team is going to take the lead there, 15-14. Will Geiger jumper off the mark. Nice bounce pass underneath. Near dunk attempt by Trent Loomis. As we're going the other way with it, Homestead High School coach. It seems like Coach Johnson's always going to be in the mix to win the SAC, but a lot of teams are picking Carroll High School to win the SAC again this year. Is that long jumper by Dre Braden going to Northside was off the mark. Coach, have you seen a lot of Carroll kids into this league?
Yeah, you know, we've got probably, I'd say that their 2 best players that are back this year, both being recruited by, you know, us and a lot of other good programs. Have some Division II offers as well, but David Asia played for the Royal team, and then also Dan McKeeman was on the Royal team, and he was injured, I think, in week 2, and so has not played again. He's back to working out with Carroll, but has not competed in this Prime League, and so the Royal team was defeated by the Green team the game before this, and you know, David played really well in that, and obviously missing Dan affected that. But I think Carroll's going to be, they have those two, but they also have some other kids that bring a lot of toughness to the court that are going to help them defend. Obviously, they're always one of the better teams in the area defensively. But I think with those two guys and the level of scoring that they bring, they're obviously going to be one of the top teams in the area.
And Coach Marty Beasley always doing a great job there at Carroll High School, along with Coach Chris Johnson over at Homestead. And Gary Andrews now coaching Northside. He'll be coaching Dre Braden. He was a longtime women's basketball coach here at St. Francis. But you seem to think he's got some pieces to work with from what you've seen in the Club 1 Prime League.
Yeah, I think I've always had a lot of respect for Coach Andrews and what he's done, obviously what he did here at St. Francis, and getting an opportunity to go to New York with a very good Division II program, NCAA Division II, and then obviously some family reasons, want to get back in the area and getting a chance to coach at Northside and the tradition and history that they have there was probably a great opportunity for him and his family. And, I think he's excited to be there. Obviously their roster had some turnover with kids graduating, and Brandon Johnson's coming here to St. Francis. We're excited to have him here, and then obviously everyone knows some kids that have left for different reasons. But I think Gary's excited about the young kids that are there, and that's what Gary does, or Coach Andrews does, is he coaches the kids he has, and he gets a lot out of them. And he had All-Americans here, he had National Players of the Year here. To go undefeated and win a national championship, it doesn't matter what level that's at. That's a very tough task to do, and obviously did a great job in accomplishing that here at St. Francis. And I think he's very excited at Northside to build with some young kids and see what he can do.
Well, Will Geiger is going to check out of this game. He leads his team with 8 points, and currently right now Green is on top, 18-17. Baseline drive and a kick-out pass by Takoko Weigold.
Yeah, it's the third game for both of these teams of the day, and kids these days, we're not playing that many games. Again, Trevor Franklin with that three-pointer. I mean, Trevor's shot the ball really well today. I think this last game he had 2 or 3 three-pointers, and again, he's just a kid that continues to get better. So it'll be interesting to see his season he has at West Noble, the season their team has. Jim Best is their head coach up there. I'm really good friends with him, and he does a great job. So looking forward to watching them play this year.
Beautiful bounce pass and a finish there by Logan Vandervelden, who comes to us from Wabash High School. So there's 2 Vanderveldens in this league.
Yeah, they're obviously, I think the one that's out there right now is the senior Logan. That's I think he's 6'7", 6'8". Their dad, Logan Vandervelden, played in the NBA for 15 games with the LA Clippers, and then played overseas a few years and a few different leagues here in the States. So professional basketball experience, chance to play in the NBA. He was a coach with the CBA team as well. He actually played with the Fort Wayne Fury, so I think that's how he wound up here in the area. And so deep tradition there in that family. And Wabash will be a fun team to watch. They've really changed that program around the last 2 years. And they've also got a point guard that's a junior, Trent Daughtry. That's a very good player for them. So it'll be a team to watch, and I believe they're 2A. Play in the sectional there with like Northfield and Lewis Cass and some of those guys, but I think definitely will have a chance to win that sectional.
Beautiful extra pass to Elijah Vandervelden. Now the Green takes back the lead at 22-20. So these two brothers certainly know how to play each other, know how to find each other on the floor. That's the Vandervelden. So I can see where Wabash will definitely be a threat there on the east side of Indiana.
Yeah, Coach Wright's played there at Wabash. I believe he played at Huntington in our league, so he knows the area really well. And it's always neat to see guys go back to their alma mater and have success at the high school level and change the program around, and that's what he's done. And, again, with the Prime League, it's been neat to see bring those kinds of kids all together. Kids from all the way up at West Noble and kids from Angola and Wabash, and bring them in here to play against the Homesteads and the Carrolls and the North Sides. Michael Ely from Snyder, and just getting a chance for all those kids to play together. It's been neat to see, but also hopefully a good opportunity for those kids as well.
Well, you've seen a lot of success in that area when you're looking at what East Noble did last year with Ali and Hayden Jones. And Central Noble, on the girls' side, doing really good things there. I know a lot of people are excited about their matchup this coming Saturday when Bishop Luers travels to Central Noble. But basketball in the state of Indiana, I guess it's always really been a great thing. But getting to see a little bit extra basketball and having these guys have a little bit of a warm-up before practices start seems like it's been a really good thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's what we love about our job here at St. Francis. Coach Lacrosse, myself, Coach Henney, and Coach Martin, is we get to recruit Indiana high school players and a lot of players in this area where we know they're going to be tough kids. We know they're going to be really well coached, and they're going to be skilled basketball players. And I think you see that throughout our league. And that's the reason we have the national success we do within the Crossroads League. It's just because of the way these kids bring toughness and skill to it, and the job that the high school coaches in Indiana do.
Yeah, 2010 national championship here at St. Francis, and 3 runner-up finishes since 2010. And at the free throw line right now is Xavier Overstreet from Homestead, who has the last 5 points for the white team. So shouldn't really come to any surprise here. Overstreet looks like a man out there getting it done in transition, coming up with the steal on that last bucket. As we said earlier, Homestead just constantly is competing for SAC championships and doing great things in the postseason. That was Marco Stanosic for the green team with that last bucket.
I think it's a neat thing over at Homestead too. Is obviously they've had some of the state and country's best players here over the last few years, but I think the kids that have really gotten it done are kids like Loomis and Overstreet and Brett Miller, and kids that have stayed within their program for 4 years and have been okay with playing JV and accepting their role, and then getting a chance their senior year. You look at the Easy Akadu kid last year. And he had some younger kids around him that are really good and really highly rated and recruited, but he was a big key for him last year. But he played his role for 3 years, and then his senior year just had a great season. And it's neat to see. You don't see that at a whole lot of schools anymore, and there's not a lot of kids out there that are willing to accept that kind of role, and everybody wants great things to happen to them all at once. But it's neat when you see kids like those 3 that have earned it, and from talking to the coaching staff at Homestead this year, are going to have some neat opportunities to play along with some other players that have experience there.
Yeah, you saw it 3 years ago when they had the player like Brandon Drunell, who was a long-time part of that program, and now he's competing in the Crossroads League over at Spring Arbor and doing very well. Beautiful bank shot there by Will Geiger.
Yeah, Drunell, I think, starting for him here early in the season up at Spring Arbor, and he's another kid that, obviously there's a lot of kids that go to school there, and Homestead's one of the biggest schools in the area, so you got a lot of kids you're competing against, but I think that's what makes those players that come through their program so tough, because they've got to compete every day in practice. They've got to work on their skill outside of practice, whether they're working on their own, they're working a lot of them work with Bernard Hollins at Always 100. They continue to play in leagues and do those things and continue to work on their game. And so it's neat to see kids like that continue to persist through some adversity.
31-26 is your score right now with the white team on top. We've got standings here where the white team was 6-2 during the fall league in the regular season, so they finished in 4th place. The top team was the yellow team in first place with the 6-2 record. You just got to go with the points for and points against, because you had 4 teams at the top all with 6-2 records.
Yeah, and that's what, again, with our league and the way we put the rosters together, just the balance that we had in the league, with our top 9 teams all being 4-4 or better, and I think that's just because there's balance and they're competing every play and those things. And the green and the white team faced off against each other in week 2, so it's been a while since they played each other, and it was one of White's 2 losses. They went down 47-45, so really good game that week, and we're off to a great start here already here in the first half with this game.
And a great finish there down on the block for the white team. That's number 6, Jake Harper, so his first bucket of the game. He's out of Wayne High School. He'll be a senior. Yeah,
he's one that, I didn't honestly know him coming in, but I know he played in our back-to-school league before, and obviously a big basket there. Scored 4 big points in a 1-point win against the Navy team earlier, so they're about ready to pull down a big rebound there.
But Geiger, once again, getting it done, that time from 13 feet out. He has been filling it up here for the green team.
14 already here in the second half, or first half.
Coach, do you find the The coaches for these teams, are they paid? Are they volunteers? How does that kind of work?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of some parent volunteers. Jerry Hughes coaches the white team. He's done a great job with them. He's got a couple younger kids that play. He's been involved in the Gym Rats program for many years, been involved in our program a little bit in the last couple of years. So he just, typical of a lot of these coaches, just loves to be a part of it and does a great job with these kids. And, we're excited to have him. Coach Vandervelde, obviously, with a couple kids, is coaching his kids' team, and we had a few of those. Jason Burke coached the Navy team earlier. But definitely appreciate the coaches that volunteer for us and help out. We had a couple of our St. Francis players, Jeff Reynolds and Jalen Mull filled in a little bit coaching-wise. So, we sometimes get desperate and bring Jalen in there and get him talking and those kinds of things, try to develop those leadership skills for him too.
Well, folks, you're watching the Club 1 Prime Championship game here at the Hutzel Athletic Center on the campus of University of St. Francis. We'll be right back. You're watching the SummitCitySports.com.
Runners are running, play coming home.
From the crucial plays to the highlight of the game to the victory celebration, we are there. Summit City Sports isn't just a business, it's a group of companies investing in the youth of Fort Wayne athletics.
It's because of Parkview Sports Medicine, because of Kelly Automotive Group, Indiana Wesleyan University, the University of St. Francis, and Big Eye Fish, that we can produce our broadcast viewed by hundreds of thousands in Northeast Indiana.
Support Summit City Sports. Become a sponsor. Join our winning team today.
So looking at some of the scoring there from the first half from the white team, Trent Loomis with 3 points. Xavier Overstreet had 8 points. 2 points for Zach Bratmiller. 3 points for Jake Harper. Arnage Smartzik had 8 points as well. 3 points for Dakota Weigold. And 3 points for Trevor Franklin. For the green team, Elijah Vandervelden had 2 points. Logan Vandervelden had 4. Aiden Bayman had 2. Will Geiger was filling it up, folks. He had 14 points there in the first half to lead all scorers. Dre Braden had 6 points, and Marco Stanisic had 2 points. Now, I know I missed a three-pointer somewhere for the white team, but right now the white team is on top, 34-30, and this is the inaugural Club 1 Prime Championship game, folks. This is a fall league. It starts in late September and finishes in late October, and it's to get the guys kind of warmed up right before the start of the high school season, as high school practices start up, I believe it's November 5th, Coach?
Yeah, a week from tomorrow. So we tried to time it out where we'd finish up on the Sunday and then give them a full week before their high school practice starts. And the IHSAA changed their out-of-season rules this year. And so for basketball, used to you could have 4 nights of open gym. And on those nights, you could do workouts, but the coaches could only instruct 3 players at a time. And so it kind of limited their access to their athletes, but you could still work out 4 nights a week. You could still have conditioning 4 nights a week. And then you could play in open gym, obviously, 3 or 4 nights a week. Well, this year they limited coaches to 2 2-hour sessions, and they could only do them 2 nights a week. And so that's kind of really limited the access that they can. Now, during those 2 hours, the high school coaches can do whatever they want. So they could work with their entire team. They could work with their varsity JV. They can instruct players, they can do drills. It's not limited to just 3 players. So there's definitely some benefits in it. But, with only having 2 nights a week where you get open gym activity competing against the other players in your program, we were hoping that we were going to be able to capture the top players here in this area that would want to get some extra competition in each week and play 2 games every Sunday leading into the season.
Coach, the University of St. Francis men's basketball team, like you said, has had a lot of success nationally, always considered one of the better passing teams in the nation. I know the refs are always excited at the national tournament to watch our team play. Do you have a lot of these coaches and players kind of picking the brain of you and Coach Chad Lacrosse?
Yeah, that's been the neat thing about Club 1 here over the last 3 years, and our whole intention of getting more involved in youth basketball here in Fort Wayne for Coach Lacrosse and myself was, to get to know some of the club team or AAU coaches, to get to know players better, to get our program involved and those kinds of things. And so we're excited what that's done, honestly, like a kid like Will Geiger, who's a little bit undersized for our league. Those kids sometimes get overlooked, but obviously we get a chance to see him quite a bit. Austin Laser coached him in AAU, so we have a good relationship with him there. But just to see him compete so much and talk with him and make sure he has a good feel for our program has been fun for us.
Connor Norman just had the ball, and he had the last bucket for the green team, but right there, that was Will Geiger, who obviously has a beautiful shot. He's got 16 points now on the game and just pulled his team to within 2, 36-34. It's still the white team now with the lead, as that pull-up three-pointer is just a bit short by Noah Wolf. Noah Wolf is from Canterbury High School, who's got a new coach.
Yeah, Chase Sanders is really involved in youth basketball here in Fort Wayne. Does a great job with his AAU program at TPE that he runs, and has been a long-time assistant there at Canterbury. So it's neat to see a guy like that played high school basketball here in Fort Wayne at Homestead High School, and has done a lot for youth basketball here in Fort Wayne. See him get his opportunity to lead a high school program.
Well, that was a beautiful sequence there. It was Dre Braden with the steal, the bucket, and now the and one. So I can see where he's going to be turning a few heads at Northside this upcoming season with Coach Gary Andrews. Going to be competing in the Summit Athletic Conference there with Northside.
Yeah, Dre's probably played a reserve role the last few years, and he's going to get the opportunity this year as a senior to be a leader, and seems to do a little bit of everything. He looks to shoot the three. He's been good in transition for him and get to the rim. So be a great one to build around.
Well, behind Geiger and Braden, now the green team has taken the lead 41-36. You saw Geiger miss after the contact, but he was able to get the steal and then the putback. So the ball is just like a magnet to the rim for him when he's down on the block. It's easy to get it to score. Missed three-pointer by number 8 on the white team, Dakota Weigold. Weigold once again, who had the 3 points there in the first half. Shot off the mark. It's rebounded by Weigold. Once again, Weigold is out of West Noble High School, the Chargers. Beautiful finish down low for number 8 for the white team. That is Trevor Weigold. We've seen a lot of good things out of these Vandervelden brothers.
Yeah, White kind of switched to a little 1-3-1 zone there at the end of the first half, and Green's caught up here. They're getting out in transition, getting scored before that zone gets set up, and so the Vanderveldens have done a nice job, and obviously Geiger's cleaning up a lot of rebounds in there. And, Dre's been really good. Braden's been really good at getting out in transition for him.
Yeah, Braden looks like he does a good job of getting to the free throw line, and he's now 1 of 1 from the charity stripe. We'll see what he does here on his second attempt in this game. Dre Braden, and it's good. Looks automatic there from the free throw line.
That's the thing about, we talked a little bit about Homestead, but Northside, similar situation where the players they've produced here over the last few years, you also got to have some players in reserve roles and play in JV that are continuing to develop and waiting on their time to come. And obviously Dre's one that's benefited from that, having some really good players in front of him.
That was Trent Loomis with the rebound. Loomis out of Homestead High School once again. There are 3 players out of Homestead High School on this white team, so it should come as no surprise that they're playing in this Club 1 Prime Championship game. And it was actually the white team that beat the blue team with Michael Ely to get to this game.
Yeah, the IHSA, outside of the season, you can have up to 3 players play together in fall leagues like this or on an AAU team as well. And so we tried to match up kids and put them together in groups of 3 if they had 3 or more from their high school. And these 3 guys, like I said, I think they played AAU together as well. So it was a good fit for them. The Wabash kids had a few from there. The green team has a couple Norwell kids. The Navy team that had Michael Ely earlier, they're actually a young team and had several sophomores on that team. Zane Burke, who's now at Blackhawk Christian, be a very good player for them, and had some big games today. They had a couple Belmont kids. Belmont's a program that since Coach Felling's been there, he's just been trying to develop more of a basketball mentality down there and get more kids playing basketball. And I think they had 14 kids that played in our Prime League this fall. So I know he was excited to get a lot of them playing. We're definitely excited to have them here.
Braden, this is on the short bunny. Now popped out of the corner, three-point attempt. Off the heel, no good. Nice rebound, but stepping on the baseline was number 3, Zach Bratmiller for the white team. Once again, looking at that Navy team that Coach was just talking about, mostly sophomores, a couple juniors. Jordan Fueling out of Belmont High School, Scott James out of Belmont High School as well, with Fueling being the only senior on that team. They just missed out. They had the lead with about a minute and a half left to play, but it was the white team coming back and securing the victory over that Navy squad that does have Michael Ely, who turned a lot of heads last year as a freshman at Snyder High School. Nice finish down low for the white team, number 1, Trent Loomis.
Yeah, and that Navy team, like I said, Zane Burke's been really good for them. Quinn Harmon's another kid's just a sophomore at Homestead that, will probably be in a role similar to what some of these guys on the white team had this year, but it's one that I know will eventually be a very good player for them. He's been on some successful AU team and summer teams, and a kid that works really hard to get better. So he played really well in our league as a sophomore. Carter Davis, another kid from Logansport, reaching all the way over there to Central Indiana a little bit, but as another top sophomore that Logansport will be a really good team this year. They've got 2 seniors over there in Sam Skaggs and Will Penny that are both 2 of the top players in the state, and both kids will end up playing college basketball and have offers at our level or even NCAA Division II offers as well.
Well, that was Trevor Franklin on the other end, giving the white team back the lead. What a huge block there by Trent Loomis. Scoop shot's no good. Hard off the glass by Xavier Overstreet. Coach, I also see Luke Earhart from Kalida. Is that out of Ohio?
Yeah, over in Ohio. I think we had 4 or 5 Ohio kids this year that played as well. So, being as close as we are to the border and the reputation that Fort Wayne has and the tradition that basketball in Fort Wayne has, those kids really enjoy coming over here as well. So, we'd like to continue to develop that and continue to grow the league and hopefully next year maybe get close to 200 players and get us up to 20 teams.
Well, Coach, you got a really good player out of that area of Ohio, Connor Lotzenheiser from Crestfield.
Yeah, Connor's been really good for us. We're excited this year to have him as a junior now, and just the leadership that he's shown this year and the growth he's taken from last year. And the neat thing about him is I think he understands he doesn't have to step into Derek Heinen's shoes. He just has to go out there and be Connor Lotzenheiser, and that's how our team has to be this year. We've got tough kids and kids that are really good teammates. You mentioned earlier how well we pass the ball, and this team's going to be similar to that. And they don't have to try to replace Bryce Linnup or Derek Heinen or Evan Henry and those seniors that we lost. We just need to come out this year and compete and let our toughness and team defense and the way we move the ball offensively take care of those things.
And step back three-pointers no good by Arnad Smartzik, who had a huge first half here for the white team, getting the first 3 buckets. He had a 2-pointer and 2 triples for the white squad. But Coach mentioned Derek Heinen. He's out of Columbia City High School, was a big name there for the Eagles, and then transferring to St. Francis, had just a huge senior year and a huge national tournament. He was turning a lot of heads there in Sioux Falls, North Dakota.
Yeah, I think he led the tournament in scoring overall, and to do it the last 2 games on basically one leg, just the toughness he showed that Final Four to play with a sprained ankle like he did. We didn't know if he'd be able to go, and just 2 great performances there in the Final Four, and unfortunately coming up short there to Indiana Wesleyan. But I think, obviously Derek showed he's one of the best players in the country last year.
That was Mason Garland finishing. He's got 4 points now in this game. The 3-pointer is good by number 6, Connor Torsen for the Green Squads. This has been a back-and-forth game right now. The white team is on top 48-46. Coach, it seems very, very organized, for just a 4-week league.
Yeah, we like I said, this is the fourth year we've been involved in doing leagues here in Fort Wayne, and we work really well with the people at Gym Rats, and Gym Rats kind of does the tournaments here in Fort Wayne, and we focus on the leagues here in Fort Wayne. And we've got a good staff with myself, Coach Lacrosse, Jeremy Henney, really involved over there, and people that work the gate for us, and get this gym set up, all those things. Just lucky to have the help that we have and the volunteers that we have, and it's been a fun experience, and obviously being able to model off of what they're doing in other areas of the state. I think a few years ago when Conlon Martin that plays for us here at St. Francis, he played on the legit AAU team, and him and Malik Williams and a couple of the other kids that were on that team, they were driving to Indianapolis every Sunday to play in that Metro Indy Basketball League. And it's like, man, we should be able to develop something here in Fort Wayne where we've got enough good players here in this area of the state that they can compete and not have to drive 2 hours to play. And I think that's what we've been able to do this year. Yeah,
definitely a much shorter drive. We had Logan Vanderwelden with the triple for the green team, and answering it was Zach Bratmiller for the white team, as they're going to take back the lead at 51-49. So once again, very competitive as the top. Beautiful lay-in right there by Logan Vanderwelden. He's now got 5 points here in the second half. But the top part of the Club 1 Prime League, very, very equally balanced teams here. She had 4 teams finishing with, there's 5 teams finishing with 6-2 records, as the white team hits the big triple.
Yeah, this is a great basketball game. Great, I guess, a preview for the high school basketball season, and quality to play out here. There's a lot of times you find in fall leagues and summer basketball sloppy play, and I guess as I say that, they throw it off the guy's head. But, I think this has been a very good basketball game, and these teams are moving the ball well. They're defending and doing some stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun to watch, and gets us ready for the high school season, because they start practice, I guess, a week from tomorrow, but then they play games in 3 weeks. So it's going to come real quick.
And that last three-pointer by the white team was by Noah Wolf, the junior from Canterbury High School. So they've got a 3-point lead right now at 54-51, and a strong take. Once again, through the contact, hitting the bucket. That was...
Is that Harper again from Wayne?
I think that's Dakota Weigold.
Oh, was it Weigold?
From the white team, number 8. Now has 7 points in this game. Weigold right now on the far elbow. And the white team starting to pull away as we have 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in this game. Turnaround jumpers off the mark. That's one of the rare misses by Will Geiger, the junior out of Norwell High School.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what, Will's greatest strength. Like I said earlier, he's a little undersized, but he finishes everything there around the rim. He looks like he's a little winded there. And games like this, you don't get too much of a break, and it's their 3rd game here today. The white team, I'm a little surprised with the energy they've had, but they look a little bit deeper. This is their they have to play back-to-back games. So what they have, a 2-minute rest in between games, and get back after it here. So they're competing well.
Definitely going to help them, though, when the high school practices start and they're running gassers and things like that. But it seems like a great thing. You're going to have football players joining the teams, the high school teams, some of them a little bit later due to the success of some of the football teams. But these guys, it just seems like they're in a really good position here to kind of kick off the high school league running and not have to worry about using those first 2-3 weeks to get in shape.
Yeah, and I think, the nice thing about playing this on Sundays is we've had there's a few guys in the league that are football guys, and I won't name any names in case there's any football coaches out there watching, but to keep some of those guys or start getting them more in basketball shape, but I know that there has been a few of those guys as well, and that happens in all sports. I think like you got basketball players that are really good at football, but they know their future's in basketball, and they want to get as much experience and prep as they can, and hopefully our league's been a benefit to them.
Coach, obviously we talked about Dan McKeeman and David Aja, just some great players, Michael Ely, but are there any players that have really just kind of startled you, like I had no idea this kid was that good?
I think Trevor Franklin for the white team's, one of those guys. I talked to his high school coach earlier in the season or earlier in the league, and I said, man, he's a really tough kid. Does a great job. He can play a couple different positions, can play on the point with the ball, but But I think his knock is he doesn't shoot the three great. Like, he shoots it good, especially at the high school level, but we always wonder how well will they shoot at our level when you move back an extra foot and those things. And but he shot it really well today. I've been impressed with him, and he's a fun kid to watch play just because he wins. And sometimes the talent and skill level and kids that can dunk and those things kind of overshadow kids that are tough, like Trevor and Will Geiger. I think fits that mold too. But kids that just get things done that help you win games.
Well, on the other end, it was Dre Braden with his 12th point of the game. As now he takes the pass, the easy left-handed lay, and now he has 14 points. And the green team pulls to within one, 56-55. Got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this inaugural championship game. Club 1 Basketball Prime League. Folks, you can visit them online. Lots of different leagues to get involved with Club 1 Basketball. Lots of camps. It's club1basketball.com. And, Coach, it seems like it's pretty much all year round. I know camp-wise, the summertime is probably your busiest time of the year. Yeah,
it's developed more than my wildest dreams could ever imagine. And I think, again, we try to tailor things to what will help high school coaches and their programs. We've got our leagues in our northeast area of the state that, kind of is what we started with. Those leagues are ramped up and ready to go. Our girls' league is going on right now, 3rd through 6th grade, up at West Noble and Angola and Lakeland and those kinds of areas. Then in 2 weeks, we'll start our Fort Wayne, what we call our preseason league, which is our first school league here, where high school coaches are able to enter their feeder program teams in 3rd through 6th grade, and we get a lot of teams that enter that. And then we have schools all the way from Blackhawk Christian, Woodland, Heritage, to the bigger schools in Carroll, and we'll get a few Southwest teams as well from Homestead, and it's just neat to see. And then we don't get a whole lot of Fort Wayne community schools because a district that size, it's hard to organize elementary school teams like that. And so this year we've started a new league called the FWBL, Fort Wayne Basketball League. It's kind of like a rec league for 3rd through 6th grade level, and that starts this week. So we got registration open now. If anybody's interested in looking at that, our website has all the information.
What a beautiful play there by Xavier Overstreet. Once again, saving that ball. It went off Geiger's hands, and next thing you know, it's white ball possession there. So great play by the Homesteads. Xavier Overstreet going to be a senior. And before that, a beautiful pass by Dre Baden, who found Logan Vandervelden. Vandervelden now has 11 points in this game, as heading to the free throw line will be Overstreet. It's a 58-57 game, and the clock is stopped at 45 seconds, so we'll restart this one. It's an 18-minute running clock in the first and second half, but, Coach, we see the clock stopped right now at 45 seconds. So is that just something where the clock stops in the last couple of minutes, or
last minute of each half we go we stop the clock there and get more live game situations. Throughout the game, on a foul you just shoot one free throw for 2 points, or if you get fouled on three-pointer for 3 points. But when the clock stopped in the last minute, we shoot real free throws there too, and modify our rules a little bit just to keep the games moving and keep them playing.
Beautiful find down low to Will Geiger, leading scorer in this game, as the green team ties it up at 59. Folks, that clock's about 5 seconds off, so we're 25 and counting. We'll get it updated for you. Now we are back on track. So this is going down to the wire here. It's 17.1 now on the clock, and it looks like the foul is going to be called there on Geiger with the reach in. Heading to the free throw line will be Trent Loomis from Homestead High School. So 3 seniors from Homestead making up this white team in Zach Bratmiller, Xavier Overstreet, and Trent Loomis.
I always think, I think about my kids at home and playing basketball and just kids in general playing. Myself, when I played, when you get a chance to make, how many end-of-game type plays do you get a chance to do? And those are always fun and things that kids remember. And whether it's a fall league or a rec league or AAU basketball or high school basketball, as much experience as you can get doing those types of things is always big. And so that next time, hopefully, you perform better. And hopefully, we've been able to do that for some kids.
Dre Baden doing a good job of handling the ball and finding some open players. 7.9 seconds, 8 seconds here on your screen, as we got a timeout called by the green team. Green team coached by Coach Vandervelden from Wabash. his kids going to Wabash High School. That's Elijah and Logan. But once again, I'm really, I don't want to say I'm shocked, but these teams seem very, very organized.
Yeah, they don't practice, at least as far as I know. Maybe they get them together during the week, you know. But, I mean, we don't provide any gym time for them or pay the coaches to have practice or anything like that. But, yeah, like you said, I mean, they've defended. They've done a good job playing together. They've moved the ball. You know, I've seen my share of bad basketball where kids don't share the ball and they don't pass it, and those things aren't a whole lot of fun. But even throughout the day, it's been like that. You know, the Navy team, like I said earlier, Eli hit a free throw to win the game in sudden death overtime earlier. But there was 4 possessions in a sudden death overtime there because kids were defending and playing hard and rebounding and doing those kinds of things. So it was really neat to see.
Well, absolutely, and now we're at the point here, 7.9 seconds. Who's going to win this game? It's just a 1-point game. The inbounds pass goes back to the inbounder. Always considered the most dangerous guy on the floor. That's Logan Vandervelden getting the layup. The clock is stopped here at 2.6 seconds, and that's going to give the green team the 61-60 lead. So we'll see what the white team's going to draw up here under Coach Jerry Hughes.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is probably their last timeout too. I think the teams get 2 timeouts or 3 timeouts for the game, and so I'm going to give a few tenths of a second left here on the clock. But Coach has got his whiteboard out there, and you know, again, he's one of those guys that loves doing this, and you know, fun situation for him here to see what these kids can do with no practice to try to pull it off.
And I'm not 100% certain here, but it looks like maybe Homestead's Jack Ferguson is in attendance, who's playing at Colgate University. I'm assuming he's watching some of his guys here, and the 3 Homestead players that are playing for the white team, Brad Miller, Overstreet, and Loomis. But once again, what a great career he had playing with Mangus and Brandon Durnell. All they did was win sectional championships and compete for the SAC, and some great battles there with Keon Brooks and those Northside teams.
Well, we mentioned Chase Sanders earlier, and I think they played AAU with him with his TPU too.
Well, the green team is going to win it. Good defense there, and once again, it's Will Geiger. Coach Cummings, I really appreciate everything, and what a great league here. Wish you all the success in year number 2 next year. So, folks, go to club1basketball.com and look for all the upcoming leagues.
Yeah, appreciate being here. Appreciate all you do for Fort Wayne high school athletics. I mean, it's a big deal. I know you know this, but probably don't get acknowledged enough. It's a big deal for these kids to see themselves a lot, be able to see all these games live streamed. So really appreciate all you guys do.
Well, absolutely. Once again, Coach Luke Cummings, he's the associate head coach for the University of St. Francis, having all kinds of success, folks. Once again, congratulations to the green team coming back there in the final minutes to win it 61-60 over the white team. Going to go over the roster with you real quick. Elijah Vandervelden, Logan Vandervelden. Their coach is Coach Vandervelden, the father. Aiden Bayman, Will Geiger, Connor Torson, Dre Baden, Marco Stanisic, and Connor Norman getting the win there for the green team in the inaugural Club 1 Prime League Championship game. Thanks so much for joining us. We had Lucy Wainwright on camera. My name is Jeff Mahoney. Until next time, folks, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thanks again for joining us.
When you experience a sports injury, muscle, or joint pain, you want treatment right away. Parkview Ortho Express provides same-day orthopedic and sports injury care without referral or appointment, offering diagnostics, x-rays, the region's only body composition DEXA scan right inside of the Sport 1 Parkview Fieldhouse. Walk in Monday through Thursday, 7 to 7, Friday, 7 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to noon. For more information, go to parkviewsportsmedicine.com/orthoexpress.
It's the comets. Comets falling from the sky. 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 Comets falling from the sky.
This is the first time I've been able to do this kind of more complete understanding or view of your body. One of the things that's really important about this is that it's kind of legitimizing us as athletes.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
The Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Choose from over 60 vehicles under $10,000. Visit drivekelly.com. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
Concussions. They're a concern for parents of athletes in any sport. That's why Parkview Sports Medicine is leading the way with the area's first concussion clinic. Our integrated sports medicine team utilizes an innovative, evidence-based approach to manage athletic-related head injuries in those 14 and older, providing comprehensive care to get the athlete you love safely back in play. To schedule an appointment, call Parkview Sports Medicine at 266-4007. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Get mad about blue. Get mad about your Fort Wayne Mad Ants. When looking for the best basketball action in town, it's the Go to FortWayneMadAnts.com for the complete game schedule. See your Fort Wayne Mad Ants in action. Get mad about blue.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Parkview Sports Medicine, especially since I've been a pro, has been a place where my game has really been able to develop in multiple facets. Injury prevention, maintenance, physical therapy, weightlifting, agility work, you know, all the things that I need to do in order to have an NBA body. This is the place for me to go when I come back home and I need to get a workout in. Always welcome me back with open arms.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Both runners are running, play coming home.
From the crucial plays to the highlight of the game to the victory celebration, we are there. Summit City Sports isn't just a business, it's a group of companies investing in the youth of Fort Wayne athletics.
It's because of Parkview Sports Medicine, because of Kelly Automotive Group, Indiana Wesleyan University, University of St. Francis, and Big Eye Fish, that we can produce our broadcast viewed by hundreds of thousands in Northeast Indiana.
Support Summit City Sports. Become a sponsor. Join our winning team today.